Edit this how you feel, please.
Oh, I just throw it on YouTube, man.
Okay.
Throw it up there raw and see what happens.
Fire away.
So, first time beating Hawaii twice for Cal Poly and forever, if it's ever happened before.
I don't think it has.
Yeah, what's the feeling in the locker room right now?
From the players' perspective, it's loud. It's very loud. They are exhilarated because of the victory, obviously. I think they're mentally exhausted just from the emotional output that they put into that match. I mean, that's two teams, two very good teams that are just battling back and forth. I mean, we're both trying to compete and win, obviously, and I thought Hawaii, did a lot of really nice things on the court. They've obviously got some really good players on their team, and it was a battle. Unfortunately for us, we were the team that came out with 2 points in the end of the fifth. So. Yeah, they're happy.
The first set was kind of ugly. I think there were like 10, somewhere around 10 service aces or errors, like just hitting the ball out of bounds or into the net for both sides. Yeah. And it kind of like had me wondering, like, oh man, is this going to be shaky and kind of an ugly match the whole time? And then it kind of settled down. What do you attribute the kind of the start to?
Just excitement. You can preface your team, I think, as a coach as much about, Mott's going to be full. And honestly, and I said this in all seriousness, like that's the first time I've had to tell my team that. They're not used to playing in front of a packed house in Mott with the band and people standing. So, I think there was a little bit, obviously, of some adrenaline, and they were almost too jacked. And probably, I don't know about Hawaii, but I'm guessing on their end as well. It's like, it's an exciting, as an athlete and a player, you want to be in those situations. And there's always a little bit of the kind of the first, however long, 5-10 points, maybe half a set to kind of just settle down and, let the game kind of start occurring and happening as it is. And like you said, I think after the, other than the lead that we kind of spotted them in the early part of the first, we were still able to kind of come back and almost steal the first set. It was still a 2-point set. We were fortunate to, execute at the end and win the second. The third set was a little bit of off the gas, I think, from our side. I think we had the lead at 17-11, and then again late. But again, they came back, and this has been kind of how this group has been this year. They've just been resilient. They've really not allowed what's happened in the past to really have a big impact on what's going to happen in the future. And for them to be able to bounce back in the fourth set and win that, and then that fifth set was probably one for the ages. It was back and forth. I don't think any team had a lead more than two. And a couple of calls here and there at the end. And again, I think it's just exciting for the players, exciting for the staff, exciting for the program, exciting for Cal Poly to be able to, come away with a victory tonight. And they'll have a couple of days off here, and then look forward to being back in Mott on Friday against Santa Barbara for a rivalry game, and we'll continue to move forward.
For you, being able to the program's kind of been building and building and building, and I know it's been kind of a big plan for you over the last few years. How satisfying is it? I mean, you guys have a 2-game lead now with just a handful of games left in conference, and Hawaii is surely the toughest team. I mean, not to downplay the other teams, but Hawaii is surely the toughest team you're going to play, left in the regular season. How satisfying is it for you personally to kind of see the program build from where it was when you got here to where it is now?
It's certainly exciting, I think, for the program. I don't really look at it as from a personal perspective at all. I mean, I have Caro here, and Jason's been with us now. I think this is his third year. And when we get out of kind of that's probably more of the things we'll think about in December after season's over with, or January, and kind of look back and, get a little reminiscent of like, remember when, and how those teams were. But at the same time, I wouldn't be here as a coach without going through that either. So, I mean, there was a lot of learning that went on from my perspective, a lot of learning, what works, what doesn't work. So it may not have been obviously the best in terms of wins and losses, but I certainly learned a lot about being a head coach, and that's certainly something I'll continue to keep trying to be better at.
My last question, you got 2 really big performances from Taylor and Rayanne, I thought. Really kind of when things were kind of 50-50, those 2 really, Taylor's been doing it for years for you, and Ray's been there as well. Can you comment on their game and talk about what they have meant to the pro? I mean, not that we're going to get all like long-term big picture, but Ray and Taylor, they've been around and they've kind of been through it, right?
Yeah, I mean, all three of them, Taylor, Rayanne, and Savannah even, I mean, they are, the three seniors that have gone through kind of from start to where we are now. And their ability and what they give to the group. Nelson's been really good offensively for us in terms of distribution, in terms of decision making. I think she's learned how to kind of establish what she wants early on and then be able to move the ball around. I mean, she made some sets towards the end of that fourth and fifth set that, I'm not too sure there are a lot of setters that not just can execute that, but that just have, the competitiveness to just know she can and just to fire it out there and just commit to it. And still kind of going back to Tori in the fifth set, even though Tori didn't have, probably her best match obviously of the year, but, for those three, I thought Rayanne, again, you get her a good in-system tempo ball and a split block, and she's dangerous. And she's been doing this now for weeks. I mean, you can go back and look at stats for whether it's Irvine, Long Beach, Northridge, Santa Barbara. I mean, she's been hitting somewhere in the 300 to 400 range for the most part. That's a senior that's, learning how to become an efficient attacker, and that we don't always have to go up and just unload. We can move the ball around, and we can tip on occasion, and we can hit with range. And then also Savannah, I thought, it was one of the things looking at it. She's certainly more on the undersized side for a middle, and I thought she competed hard against Maglio. I mean, Maglio is, one of, if not the best players in this conference, and she's out there doing really impressive things as an offensive attacker and a blocker. And just to see Sav's competitiveness and know that, no matter what happens, that her teammates are going to look at her for support and vice versa. I'm most excited for the group just to understand the importance of the power of the group from a culture perspective. That's, if you're going to ask me what I'm most happy about, it's just it's a group effort, and there are no me's or I's in that locker room. I know they all want to be on the court, and only 6 of them can at a time, but those that aren't are doing everything they can verbally, vocally, tactically to help out the players that are coming in and out of the matches and even during timeouts. So it's a collective effort with the players, with Caro and Jason, with Maggie, with Nick, our student manager. I mean, it's not just me and it's not just the players. There's a lot of people that are putting a lot of time into trying to help these girls achieve what they want to achieve this year. And victory tonight certainly feels good. And like I said, they're going to have a few days off and then get ready to come back and get back in the gym and work towards beating Central.
Awesome. And a lot of fans here tonight.
Awesome. It's one of those things that just, it's if you build it, they will come. And I can't say enough about just the support that we've had from the department, from the community, from the city of San Luis Obispo, people that are coming for matches, high school club players. I mean, it is certainly a home court advantage when you have a facility like that that's full of people that are in it with you. And certainly there were some times tonight where the crowd, got a little riled up and a little fired up, and it certainly has an impact on our team's emotional state. So I certainly want to say thanks to all the fans that come out tonight. It's awesome to know that we can sell out Mott.
Thanks.
I have one question for you. So you guys are